I have spent my life studying the minds of the most successful individuals in history. I have sat with industrialists, self-made millionaires, world leaders, and visionaries. I have observed the habits of those who rise from nothing to build empires. And do you know what I have discovered? Every single one of them mastered one thing above all else: their own mind. Your mind is the most powerful force you will ever possess. It is the key to your success or the chain that binds you to mediocrity. It is not your background, not your circumstances, not the money in your pocket that determines your future. It is the way you think. I learned this lesson early on when I had the privilege of working with one of the most remarkable men of his time, Andrew Carnegie. A man who arrived in America as a poor immigrant, yet rose to become one of the wealthiest individuals in the world. What set Carnegie apart was not that he was born into wealth, for he was not. It was not that he had some special advantage others lacked. No. It was his ability to control his thoughts, his ability to envision success so clearly that failure had no place in his reality. He once told me, "A man's thoughts determine his destiny. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." That sentence changed the course of my life, for I knew then that success was not reserved for the privileged few. It was available to anyone who had the discipline to train their mind and direct their thoughts toward a definite purpose. Think of the great figures in history: Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Abraham Lincoln, Helen Keller. These individuals were not born with a guarantee of success. Many of them faced overwhelming adversity. Yet, they rose above their circumstances because they understood a fundamental truth. You are not limited by your external world. You are only limited by the boundaries you accept in your mind. Let me tell you a story. There was a young man who grew up in absolute poverty. He had no formal education, no connections, no advantages. Yet he had a burning desire to become wealthy. He understood that if he was going to change his life, he had to change his mindset first. He surrounded himself with books, studied successful men, and trained his mind to see opportunity where others saw obstacles. One day, he came across a businessman who was looking for an apprentice. Without hesitation, he offered to work for free just to learn. He did everything he could to absorb knowledge, improve his skills, and make himself indispensable. Over time, he climbed the ranks, built his own company, and became one of the richest men of his generation. Now, what was the difference between him and the thousands of others who remained in poverty? It was not luck. It was not external circumstances. It was his mind. While others focused on their limitations, he focused on possibilities. While others complained about what they lacked, he took action with what he had. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant in it will grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and failure, that is what your life will yield. If you plant seeds of confidence, faith, and determination, you will reap a harvest of success. You must guard your thoughts as fiercely as you would guard your greatest treasure, because your thoughts will shape your future. Many people believe that circumstances create success, but I tell you this: circumstances do not matter. Your reaction to them does. Take Thomas Edison, for example. He conducted over 10,000 failed experiments before he succeeded in creating the light bulb. Imagine if he had given up after the first failure, or the 100th, or the 1,000th. He understood something most people do not. Failure is not an endpoint, it is a stepping stone. Every failure brings you closer to success. Every obstacle presents a hidden opportunity. But only those who have trained their minds to see beyond immediate setbacks will ever realize their full potential. Let me ask you something. What is the dominant thought in your mind right now? Are you focusing on your limitations, or are you focusing on solutions? Are you dwelling on your fears, or are you visualizing your success? Because whatever you focus on, you will move toward. If you think of yourself as someone who is unlucky, unworthy, incapable, your subconscious mind will find ways to prove you right. But if you train yourself to see your own power, your own potential, your own ability to create success, then nothing can stop you. The wealthiest and most successful people in the world are not those who started with the most money. They are the ones who started with the right mindset. You must develop unshakable faith in yourself. You must make a definite decision about what you want in life. No vague wishes, no indecision, a clear, precise goal. Carnegie once told me, most people fail because they lack a definite aim. They drift through life without direction, letting external forces dictate their future. But those who succeed make a decision, plant their feet firmly and say, "This is what I will achieve, and I will let nothing stop me." If you want to change your life, you must start with this decision. Decide right now what you want, and refuse to settle for anything less. Once you have made this decision, you must train your mind to support it. This means eliminating all negative influences, whether they come from your own doubts or from those around you who do not believe in your vision. There will be people who tell you it cannot be done. There will be obstacles that seem insurmountable, but nothing is impossible to the mind that refuses to accept failure. You must develop the habit of persistence. When challenges arise, do not retreat. Advance. When failure strikes, do not surrender. Learn. The greatest breakthroughs in history were made by men and women who refused to quit when the world told them to. Your mind is the engine of your success. If you fuel it with determination, faith, and action, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Every great achievement started with a thought. Every fortune was first built in the imagination before it was built in reality. Your mind is capable of creating the future you desire, but only if you take control of it. Right now, make the decision to think differently, to act differently, and to expect success in all that you do. The world does not reward those who wait for things to happen. It rewards those who make things happen. You have everything you need to create the life you desire. The only question is, will you take control of your mind, or will you let your circumstances control you? Decide today. Decide right now. Master your mind, and you will master your life.